Hey everybody, this is herculespetix, founder, curator, docent, and gift shop employee of the herculespetix Academy of Comic Book Studies. Today we're going to continue our examination of Howard Chaykin's American Flagg. Today we're looking at number 10 through 12, and this encompasses the Solidarity for Now story arc. And this is pretty much a straight-on continuation of the previous three issues. It really is one big story. Let's take a look at these. This is some great stuff. Okay, number 10. Pretty much starts off where we ended up last issue. Nice cover. Howard Chaykin's a really good designer. His covers always look pretty damn striking. So, as we saw last issue, the ASLC and the Goddardam Bureaucrats have pretty much taken over the mall. Basically taken over local government in the Chicagoland area. Scheisskopf, the villain, he's fully ensconced as the head of the Rangers, and he's talking to Ambassador Deutschmarks from the Brazilian guy, and basically something's going on in Mars where the government's a mess. Mars Plex is going through some serious internal shakeups. So he's pretty much the highest ranking Plex guy. And he gives Scheisskopf his blessing, because he knows that Scheisskopf has a great record as a ranger, as a kind of Secret Service guy. He's worried about his ties to the ASLC, but Scheisskopf assures him that that's all just bad propaganda and they're pretty good. I didn't realize this in the previous issue, so I guess Brazil is part of the Plex. The Plex isn't just the United States. I guess that makes sense, since it's really just a conglomeration of corporations that run everything. Yeah, I mean, they're the government, but it's kind of like a kleptocracy. They're just a bunch of shitty corporations. So yeah, they don't really care about borders. So Brazil's part of the Plex, I guess. And Ambassador Deutschmarks is the leading Plex bureaucrat at the time. So Scheisskopf's fully in with the blessings of the Plex. And he puts the mayor, C.K. Blitz, he's under house arrest most of the time. He still keeps him around. I don't know why he doesn't execute him, especially because his political party are Nazis who don't like black people. But whatever, he keeps him around. Strangely enough, he asked for his daughter, Medea Blitz, he wants her to be like the chief ranger. So meanwhile, his flunkies are trying to find Raoul the cat. They're basically rounding up all of Reuben Flagg's compatriots. They're in the heliport looking for Raoul, and they see him, and Raoul gets into this helicopter and blows them away with machine guns. And then Titania Weiss comes in, if you remember her, the doctor, who's a Jewish Nazi. And it turns out Raoul blew up the whole heliport, every other helicopter, and took off. Now we cut away to the Chatterbox. This is the, the strip club that's really the base of operations for the Witnesses, Reuben's allies. They're a bunch of old kind of hippies who remember the way things were before the year of the domino. Reuben and Mandy are there. And they hear a helicopter approach, and they're like, uh-oh. But it's just Raoul. So they're happy to see Raoul. They get the lowdown. And he takes a nap. Raoul is just like, I just need a nap. I'm wasted. That was so cute. So Mandy makes a discovery. She found some bootleg copies of Bob Violence with the subliminals still in them. The subliminals that make people go crazy. So Reuben figures, this could help as a diversion. And we shall see what happens with that soon. So we find out that that Scheisskopf, along with Decker, the head of the SLC, they have this plan. They're basically going to gas Chicago, like poison gas. And basically, because a lot of minorities live in Chicago, a lot of their people, like, white people are living in, like, basically shacks and lean-tos. So they're going to gas Chicago, and then all of the ASLC members who live out in the outskirts can move into Chicago because all those buildings will be abandoned because everyone will be dead. Titania Weiss doesn't like this idea, but she's a good soldier. She's a good party member. So now we cut away to some of our cast of characters. Gretchen is the madam. She's just drinking herself into a stupor because Ernesto, she found out Ernesto was killed by the headhunters. And we see Crystal Marikova. She's the only Warlords Industries person left. And then we cut back to Shaiskov, and he's welcoming Medea Blitz onto the staff. Okay, maybe she's not the chief ranger. Maybe she's just, she's going to be a second in command. They've still got Bill, the King of England, in prison. They're going to execute him. So Medea, Medea's a good person, but she's also super, loyal to being a ranger. So she's going to take orders from this guy, but she kind of is like, I don't know about this. Because she knows Bill. She doesn't want to see him die. So she's conflicted. Now we cut away to Skokie, Illinois. And Shaiskov sent some of his guys to take care of the Skokie Skullcrushers, the basketball team, the black market basketball team. I don't understand why these basketball players are constantly kept under sedation in these tanks. Maybe they're such hormonally violent guys from taking so many steroids. They just kind of need to be sedated all the time. But they're basically there, and they're just going to kill all the black ones, and then all the the Aryan ones will be taken in for experiments. So all of a sudden, Jules Deathwish wakes up, and they all wake up and start beating the shit out of these Nazis. Reuben and Mandy happen to be snowmobiling by, and they hear, and they run over there. They drive over there, and Reuben starts attacking the ASLC guys. And the reason why the basketball players were awake is because Sam Luis Obispo shows up. Nobody could find him since all this turmoil started. So I guess he ran over to where the basketball players hang out and woke him up just in time. For the record, written and drawn by Howard Chaykin, colors by Leslie Zoller, and of course, letters by Ken Bruzenek, one of the best letters of all time. So one of the guys survives, I guess. The ASLC calls it in the Shaiskov. He's really pissed off. He's just like, God damn it. Incompetence. And then who should come in from Brazil but Desiree Deutschmark, the daughter of the ambassador. And she basically makes a deal with Shaiskov. And she's like, we both want Reuben Flagg dead, but I really want Sam Luis Obispo. She's still got a hard-on for Sam Luis Obispo. Her former lover, guy kind of cheated her and put up all her porn videos, put him out there. So now we're back with Reuben and the basketball players and Mandy. So he basically says, guys, let me deputize you. We're going to have our own little force. I'll get you guys all pardons if you do. I'll pay you money. I really need your muscle. We got to get these guys out of the mall. And they find Esther Maria de la Cristo, the CEO of Warlords Industries. And she's a snake in the grass. So they have her so doped up on pills just to keep her, from getting into any mischief. Okay, where are we now? Back at the mall, You can already see the effects of the ASLC being in charge. They're like, Anglos, park your vehicles on runway 5. Afro and Hispano quotas are filled for the day for the rest of you. So basically, we don't want you. They're full-on racist political group. Medea has so many doubts, she even calls up the ambassador. And he's like, hey, yeah, I'm standing by my decision. You got to follow orders of the Shaiskov guy. I know it seems a little weird. He's a little strange, but... So she's really not liking it. And it turns out that Desiree and Shaiskov are more than just, partners in revenge. They become an item. So Shaiskov has this plan. He gets on TV and says, any criminal, I'm putting this reward on Reuben, Flagg, and any of the Skullcrushers. And if you bring me like 3 of their heads, you'll also get a full pardon. So basically every lowlife and scumbag in the Chicagoland area is like now gunning for Reuben and his pals. I gotta say, Leslie Soller is hitting her stride as a colorist. I like the colors a lot more in these issues. I guess it was just, it was a little learning curve. But some of these even look like the Lynn Varley first 3 issues. Not as good, but better than they have looked in a while. Just these deep purples are interesting. Kind of like it. So Reuben actually, let me make sure where I am now. This is let me just say, this plot line is really dense with just like you kind of have to read it twice. With just all of the machinations of all these characters. There's like 20 main characters. Oh yeah, that's what happened. So some of the Nazi guys, the ASLC, go to the chatterbox. They're going to wipe out the witnesses. And Reuben fights them back, Reuben and friends. And then I guess he blows it up. Because I guess there was a bunch, they were overpowered. So they're like, he set up some charges. And that takes care of the last ASLC guys. But he also had to blow up the chatterbox. So they realize they're going to have to rescue Bill, the King of England, from the mall jail. And we find out Esther, she really is a crafty lady. The basketball player who's basically guarding her, these criminals find him with a nail file in his neck, dead. And they saw off his head for the reward. Luckily, they don't show it. And then Esther takes off. She wasn't taking her drugs. She was tricking them. So she's not all doped up. She's still her snake-like self. Number 11 here, Video Rangers. And we see the news. Shaiskov is, everyone loves him. And basically, Reuben Flagg's a criminal in most people's eyes. Shaiskov's really got everyone turned against him. So they start playing Bob Violence with Mandy's tech know-how, using the pirate radio station. I'm sorry, television stations. They're playing them. We also find out where Esther ends up in this like kind of Christian missionary, place. They're taking care of her. I guess she was, out in the elements. Now back at the mall. Medea can't reach either Shaiskov or Desiree. They're just basically fucking all the time, it looks like. She says something about Titania Weiss because, she's Jewish. So she says something like, "You're Jew Nazi pal," and he slaps her. And he says, "Don't you ever talk about her like that again." So Shaiskov has got some unspoken feelings towards Titania. So because Reuben and Mandy put on the Bob Violence reruns, once again, the Go Gangs are on the road, ready to cause trouble. But the reason he did this is because Reuben and his friends set up a trap. Here's Cyril, the leader of the... which one is he the leader of? The Genetic Warlords. And they don't kill him or anything. They just kind of like knock him into submission. Look at Jules here. Death Wish with his... he's got a variation on a Plexus Ranger jacket. It's red. Yeah, look at Leslie's All There Go. Some nice stuff, coloring wise. So basically, they recruit these guys. They figure it's us against the whole government. You guys join us, and I'll make sure you guys get pardons when we're back in power. And they do. They're like, because they don't like Shaiskov either. You know, they don't really know him, but they don't like this fascist shit going on. So Jules is in charge of them, and they're the Video Rangers. So meanwhile, back at the mall, Medea and Shaiskov have to deal with the other mutants, the ethical mutants, and the other Go Gangs. So Jules calls in. They're detoxing the Go Gangs, the Genetic Warlords. It looks like they're just torturing these poor guys. They're like spraying them with hoses. They're inducing them to vomit all the poisons out of their body. Now we go back to that mission where Esther was. So I don't know if Esther was faking or if she got well enough, but she's shooting her way out of there, killing these nice missionaries who helped her. And she's going to go to the mall and let Shaiskov in on the whereabouts of Reuben and Mandy, because she knows everything. She was with them. She knows their plans. I don't know why she'd want to help Shaiskov. I don't quite get that from the previous issues. I didn't know she had any real allegiance to him. I think she's just mad at Flagg. So she just wants to get Flagg. So she figures that's a way to do it. So Esther makes her way into the mall. So the plan's going. I guess everyone's in agreement. They're going to gas Chicago. They're going to kill millions of people. Titania Weiss is still going along with it. She still doesn't like it. But that's what a loyal party member she is to the ASLC. Just like those Nazis in Germany who did all this stuff, and they were just like, I was following orders, And Gretchen notices there's something going on in the Four World Airways office. And as far as she knows, Crystal Marakova is the only person who left who works for them. So she's like, if Crystal's not there, who the hell is that? And of course it's Esther, because Esther owns it. So she's getting some clothes. And she's like, oh my God, you can't tell Shaiskov where Reuben and Mandy are. And Esther's just like, get the fuck off me. But then in this little scuffle, Esther trips and cracks her neck. Her neck's broken. She's dead. And then, this is interesting. Gretchen sees herself in this mirror and says, oh my God, it's me. So we'll find out what that means shortly. So now all the genetic warlords are detoxed and ready for action. They're gonna be part of the Video Rangers now on the side of the Angels. So Mandy does this thing where she puts on Bob Violence even more so, like on other shows too. So it's gonna really rile people up. And that'll be a distraction while Reuben and Raul try to rescue Bill Windsor. So they break into the mall. They break into the Plex station. I'm sorry, the Ranger station. And I like this. Raul gets in Luther Ironheart's deactivated body. And he's so smart. He figures out how to reactivate him, but he's in the charge. So he's like riding him around like Master Blaster in Mad Max 3. It's kind of funny seeing Raul in this giant, powerful robot. So he frees Bill. And then, all the alarms start sounding. Great Ken Buzenek lettering. All this lettering is just so good. So Scheisskopf and Medea, they run to the Plexus station. And right as Raul as Luther, is knocking down the door, totally knocks out Scheisskopf. And Medea, he's like, fire, fire. She can't do it. She likes Raul. She likes Bill. So she resigns. Her conscience wins out over her sense of duty. And right there, she says, I resign as a Plexus Ranger. So Crystal shows up and helps them in their escape. She's like, get in the car. We'll get out of here. It's really nice to see Leslie Zoller step up like this. This is, Lynn Varley would be proud. So Medea's in jail now. And Mayor Blitz is now under house arrest full time. And Desiree is going to be the new mayor of Chicago. Oh, and she's such a freak because she's running this porn thing. And she's like, we're not going to execute Medea. Dr. Weiss, I want you to, Titania Weiss, I want you to basically give her a lobotomy so she can act in my porn films like a brain dead. I mean, that's so evil. Giving someone a lobotomy just so they can mindlessly fuck in films, Okay, the rousing conclusion of Solidarity for Now. The revolution will be televised. So the television news, Fast Facts, is giving us an update. The King of England's free. Scheisskopf has got his injury. He's kind of injured from getting conked on the head. So C.K. Blitz and Gretchen are talking in his apartment because he's under arrest, house arrest. And Desiree and John Scheisskopf are making their shitty plans. They were very evil people. So then we see that Titania Weiss has found Esther, the dead Esther. And they realize that she didn't die. The news was reporting that she died like a week ago when Ernesto died. But Titania's like, no, she's just been dead for less than 48 hours. So who knows what the hell happened. So we're back at the new Weathermen hideout. Oh, they're underground, I think. They have this, underground bunker. And Luther Ironheart's back. They brought back his hollow head. So they realize that there's some unusual troop movements at this certain area in downtown Chicago. So they're thinking, okay, maybe this is where they're gonna launch their gas attack. It supposedly is just a building site for Desiree Deutschmark's new, project, a condo or something. Oh, a plaza, like a new shopping center. But really, these guys are setting up these gas bombs. So Reuben, using his Pizza Rustica alias, if you remember that from the Southern Comfort storyline. He basically seduces this. He uses Mandy and Crystal, almost like it's a cat house on wheels, and they're like, "Hey, you're the officer here. You get the first one free." But really, Luther's in there, and he rips out a cyanide tooth, and they grill him. They're like, "What the hell's going on here? You better talk." Now back at the Plex, Scheiskov's getting pretty pissed off. His plans are not going well. So basically the ASLC, they're going to gas Chicago, but they also, of course, people that they like, i.e. white people, they're going to quietly evacuate them all before it happens. So they're all running around basically like saying, "Come on, guys, you got to go. Come with us. This is going to be a death zone tomorrow." That's so evil. So then Desiree sees Titania, and I guess she heard a story. Who told her? Oh, one of the maids tells Desiree about how Titania hooked up with Reuben Flagg on New Year's Eve, last story arc. And basically she's like, it's like we're soul sisters. We both had one-night stands with Reuben Flagg. And Scheisskopf gets really angry when he hears this. What? But then we cut away. So now Reuben's amassing his forces. Everyone's ready to attack them all. And they do this thing where every show on every television show now, they made a special subliminal cocktail, which basically is filling everyone who's watching with anxiety and dread and fear. So everyone's like all messed up and agitated. So they're not going to, be on their best game. And of course the Go Gangs attack because these subliminals are fucking them up too. And so the officer from before that got seduced into the van, they basically force him on TV to admit the plan. He's like, he talks about how the whole nerve gas dispersal unit is intended to wipe out the population of Chicago. And now people are hearing this and be like, oh, maybe the ASLC, they fucked those guys. Because everyone was really into them when they came to power. So a bunch of them are going to the mall, and a bunch of them are going to take out those tanks, neutralize them. So Titania starts burning all their notes, and Scheisskopf's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, come on, admit it, we've lost. Let's burn these records so there's no paper trail. But he just won't, he won't accept it. So he's like, we can still pull this off. Nice colors here. Yeah, this is the page that I was like, I would maybe think this is a Lynn Varley page. I'm really digging Leslie Zala's colors on this. Sorry, I kicked the table there. Let me readjust. There we go. They free CK, and CK used to be a go-ganger, so they give him a machine gun. He's just going crazy on these Nazis. He's like, I've been wanting to do that all week. So then Reuben finally finds Scheisskopf for the big showdown. Oh, I'm sorry, not quite yet. And so we go back to the office, and Scheisskopf is basically like, he's done with Titania Weiss, because he even admits, he says, drop dead, you tramp. I worshipped you as a virgin princess, but you're just like the rest. So this guy's a fucked up dude, he's got many problems. And finding out that she had sex with Reuben Flagg is just like, he's like, fuck you. So here we go. Here Flagg jumps on Scheisskopf. He doesn't want to risk shooting people in the crowd. And the crowd has totally come around. They're like, that's it, Flagg. Beat the shit out of him. They are definitely turned against the ASLC since he was going to kill everyone. Oh, and as if not to make the drama more, you know, when these, if this gas does go off, it will also kill everyone in the mall. It's not just Chicago. So Mandy's trying to deactivate everything. And Reuben's fighting with Shaiskov. Shaiskov almost escapes in this elevator, and Reuben throws a grenade in there. And we see thaboom. So it looks like Shaiskov is finally dead. But we thought that in issue number 3. So we'll see. And so Mandy's completely frozen. It's just, she just like doesn't know what to do. And then all of a sudden, Gretchen, the madam, says, stand back, Mandy. Let your mother do it. And everyone's like, what? And Gretchen is just totally like, all of a sudden, this computer whiz. And she's, you know, totally shutting everything down, all these gas bombs or whatever. And this is so weird. I don't know how they're going to explain this in the next few issues. But it turns out, she says, my name is Margaret Rand Krieger, Peggy to friends. So it is. So I don't understand how in the first few issues, her ex, Hilton Krieger, it didn't seem like he would have recognized Gretchen as his ex-wife. It didn't seem like he had any special affinity for her because he was in love with Peg. The way he talks about, he thought Peg was dead or at least, you know, whatever, missing. And I guess not Gretchen anymore. Peggy says, I want to be alone with an old friend. Charlie, CK Blitz. Because remember, they had an affair. That's where Medea Blitz came from. So now it looks like the bad guys are gone, and Flagg and the good Plex people are back in charge of Chicago. So somehow the death of Esther, when Esther cracked her neck, broke her neck, it brought back her memory, Gretchen's memory, and made her realize that she was Peggy. So Reuben's talking to Mandy on the vid screen, and he's like, you know, I would like some company. Do you want to come over? And she's like, oh, I'll be right over. And then all of a sudden, this metal foot kicks in his door. And of course, it's Shaiskov. You can't keep a bad man down. Mandy's seeing this, and she just runs to his rescue as fast as she can, get down to Reuben's apartment. Of course, meanwhile, Shaiskov is beating the shit out of Reuben Flagg. He totally crushes his leg with his robot leg, breaks his leg. And he says, I'm going to beat you to death. And it looks like he's succeeding. But then Reuben grabs a piece of glass and throws it into his neck, and all his blood comes out, and he smashes his head into the TV screen. Just as Amanda arrives with a pretty big gun. And Reuben's kind of in shock. He's just terrified. It's like a Shaiskov. He's like a golem. Because, I mean, this is the second time he's come back from the dead, you know? And she's like, hush, Reuben, you got him. And that's the end of the fourth story arc. Really, though, kind of, you know, this is issue number 12. So you could look at this first 12 issues as just a nice big story about Reuben coming to Earth and becoming a ranger and dealing with all this corruption and such. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you're digging these American flags. I'm totally digging them. I haven't read these in decades. You know, I reread them so I can make a video about them because I forgot what happened in them. But I'm really enjoying them. Just fun storytelling. Howard Chaykin just makes a really entertaining comic. And the art's beautiful, coloring's beautiful, lettering's beautiful. So I don't think it lasts for long. I think within a few issues, Howard Chaykin's going to not do pencils for a little while, you know. He can't do this, keep this pace up forever. He's writing, penciling, and inking the whole issue, month in, month out. I don't know if any mainstream comics have ever had 12 issues by the same writer, artist, inker even. You know, Kirby did writing penciling, but he never did his own inks. So that's it for American Flagg 10 through 12. Solidarity for now. And I hope you can join me here next time at the herculespetix Academy of Comic Book Studies.